untrue. Anyway, meanwhile, while that's happening, Harris and Voss are kicking off the bus tour rally in PA. They are literally going to be doing rallies while the DNC is going on, by the way. They are not stopping. They got 80 days. They got like 79 days remaining. Let's take a look at...
We bonded almost immediately, but actually...
Do we have a link that has the... do we have a link that has the captions? Is there a caption link? When did he start pronouncing her name right? I think he goes in and out. I think he's going in and out. Do we have a caption link or no? Let's try this one. Yep. Thank you, Themasius.
It's like, what's the deal? I've known you for 20 or 30
Here's
years.
Douglas M. Hoff.
You've never been a vice
I got a
presidential
pee-pee.
candidate, Steve.
Not only do I have to pee, but I also have to run the 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour. If you no longer want to see those ads, you already know what to do, baby. All you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. You can get gifted a sub if you're lucky to use the 3-minute ad break now. Let's get started.
I said, dude, you made it. You got to cut out. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to the next Vice President of the United States, Tim Walz.
It is. Doug gets the bro hugs. He brings it. So, well, thank you, and it's true. And to Gwen and Doug both, all of you, none of us do this alone. We're all in this together. I think this is a room that knows this campaign will be won in rooms just like this all across the country. It'll be run with people sitting on the phone banks in there, dialing numbers, and people picking up the phone on a Sunday and having somebody say, do you have a minute to talk about the future of our country? That's a pretty big step. Pick up that phone and talk. But listen to these folks in here. People are doing it. They're doing it. And the thing I can tell you, what Kamala Harris has brought to this, for so many things, from experience as a prosecutor to an attorney general, to a United States senator, to a vice president, to the next president of the United States, there's that resume which is out without question. But the reason they're picking up the phone and the reason that they're standing 1,000 deep in 109-degree heat in Las Vegas is she's bringing out the joy in the hearts of Americans. She's bringing out the kindness that ties us together, the decency, the vision of a better tomorrow. And each of these volunteers and the people who put it on, they all said it. They said it is so much better to be for something rather than against something. To be for the future, not going back. That's what people know. And some of us who have less hair and are old enough, can remember when you could go to Thanksgiving, watch a Steelers game with your relatives, and not complain about politics the whole time. Not be on each other's neck. Because you shared a commitment to democracy, a commitment to personal freedom, a commitment to public education, a commitment to infrastructure.
A commitment to dudes rocking, too.
We don't call each other names. We don't do it. And we don't use the least fortunate amongst us as punchlines for our jokes because they're our neighbors. They're our neighbors. And so, you're getting an opportunity to see the best side of America. And for the young people here, they maybe haven't seen a campaign like this because of COVID, because of things that's happening. This is a chance to bring out that joy, turn the page, and look to the future. This idea of going forward. So, Doug is right. He told you. My kids were backstage in awe. He didn't tell you they were probably in awe because they could not believe that I got through that thing and through that speech. That was amazing to them. But I'll tell you what, they have felt part of this family because they can feel the decency radiating off these people. They can see the commitment. They know that children matter. They know that family matters. They know that individuals matter. And this leader knows that it's not any of government's business to be in your healthcare decisions. Those are your decisions. And this is a leader who celebrates love in all forms that it comes by, that we love each other. And for the young people, you hear somebody talking about this, we have the right to send our children to school to be free from being shot dead in their classrooms. That's what it is. And this is a nation can ensure clean water, clean air, and a bright future for our children. So I have to tell you, we got 79 days. And you'll hear me say this. Doug's going to correct me on this. I say, that's easy. We can sleep when we're dead. Doug said we can sleep on November 6th after this election is over. So you may be right. But look, coming into football country and being an old football coach, there's an old saying. You don't hope you're going to win. You prepare to win. And you give it the best you've got. And you know when that game's over, you want to know you left it all on the field. And that's all we're asking. Let's leave it all on the field. Let's get this thing done. Because When my grandkids and your grandkids asked you about this, because on November 6th, you were there, first time when you got to welcome Madam President of the United States.
Everybody, we're gonna keep coming back. I want to thank everybody. I want to start with Tim Walz. Isn't he fantastic? I like to call him Coach Walz. And,
You could tell when she says, "Isn't he fantastic?" She being so real. She's being so fake. That's not fake enthusiasm.
I mean, there's something, I don't know, my first grade teacher, Mrs.
Does she recognize that she's being outshined by Tim Walz? Who gives a shit? She wants to win, dude.
Anyone who become a teacher,
This is like one of those few instances, as I've said, where like her being a generic Democrat and an empty vassal for whatever works.
And my husband.
An empty vassal for whatever like will get her across the finish line is unironically a good thing.
I want to thank you.
Most Democrats at the top of the ticket would have been worried about being outshined by the VP. Historically, that's the reason why they most people just like choose
There are a lot of
shitty
incredible leaders
VPs.
here. I want to just for a moment mention my friend Bob Casey. You have got to send him back to the United States Senate.
Vessel, not vassal.
For the time
Sorry.
that I was in the United States Senate and worked with Bob, I'm going to tell you something. We would have these meetings where all of the Democratic senators would get together for lunch. No cameras in the room. Bob, to almost every time, was one of the ones who would stand up in that room with all the other senators from around the country, talking about the working people of Pennsylvania and why we needed to have you in our mind when we were thinking about national policy every single day. That's who Bob Casey is. Let's send him back to the United States Senate. Chris Deluzio, we want to thank you. What he is doing in the halls of Congress again. I mean, you sent some fighters to D.C., Pennsylvania. You sent some fighters to D.C. Your next Attorney General, DePasquale, where are you? I've done that work. I know what it requires, and you're going to be outstanding. So you've got a lot of work, Pennsylvania, on your shoulders right now that you're carrying, and you who are here volunteering to do this work. And we're going to get it done. And Malcolm Kenyatta knows exactly what I'm talking about. I see him almost every time I come into the state. So I want to just address you all right now as the volunteers. Tim said it. This campaign for us is really born out of love of country. We all here, we love our country. And we know our country is going to be as strong as our willingness to fight for it. And to fight for what we stand for. When you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. When you stand for working people, you fight for working people. When you stand for freedom, whether it be to make decisions about your own body or love who you love, you fight for those things. When you believe in ending child poverty, you fight for that.
If Kamala doesn't get another plus 3% bump from the DNC in every swing state, it's so over. It's not an unfair estimation.
And these, therefore, are the things we fight for. And that's what our election is about. Our election
You
is
miss
about
Joe a little?
understanding
Yeah, me too,
the
man.
importance
You
of
don't know what
this
you got till it's
beautiful
gone. You want a
country
guy who is a
in terms
carcass,
of what we
actually.
stand for around the globe as a
Until he's gone and you're like,
democracy.
where's my carcass?
As a democracy, we know there's a duality to the nature of democracy. On the one hand, incredible strength when it is intact. What it does for its people to protect and defend their rights, their liberty, and their freedom. Incredibly strong and incredibly fragile. It is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. And that's what this campaign is about. This campaign is
The
about
fuck?
recognition.
You never know the
frankly,
last time you will
last
see somebody,
several
like you
years
never
there's
know the
been this
last time
kind
you will
of
pick up your child. That's crazy.
perversion that has taken place, I think, which is to suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, when what we know is the real and true measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up.
Yo, off script. When she goes off script, she does the rambling stuff a lot.
Strength look, that's what strength looks like.
She's back to her old ways. Lord forgive me. She's doing
the.
the we must not look backwards. We must have the strength to start revitalizing the effort to look forwards in a meaningful fashion type shit.
We know what we stand for. And one of the beautiful things about these next 79 days is
She's
what
back. She's
one is
unburdened.
doing.
She's unburdened by what has been and burdened by what is to become.
Let's reinforce
I can
community.
see it. I see
You
it.
all is what you know, and we're going to spread the word, is how you can look at the face of a perfect stranger and see in their face a neighbor. That we see in each other our connection, our interdependence, what we see in each other, which fortifies and reinforces that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. That's what this campaign is about. Yes, it is about winning, and we will win. And we will win. God willing. And through these next 79 days, we will continue to build community, build coalitions, and remind each other we are all in this together. So I thank you all so very much for